Bonsoir à tous, bienvenue dans ce webinaire de présentation de certification de l'enseignement de la langue anglaise. Ce sont deux certifications, l'une à destination des très jeunes apprenants maternels et l'autre à destination des élémentaires et collèges. Et ces deux certifications vont vous être présentées par Jane Tyler, qui est donc la directrice du centre de langue The Health Hub, qui propose donc cette formation qui sera ensuite validée ou non par le Trinity College of London. Mais je ne vais pas plus loin. Je cède la parole à Jane qui va vous expliquer les contenus et les modalités de cette certification avec un diaporama qui est en français, mais elle apportera les explications en anglais, puisque je vous précise que cette certification est ouverte aux personnels qui ont un niveau de C1 en anglais. Donc ce n'est pas une certification de niveau de langue, c'est une certification d'enseignement de la langue anglaise. Jane, je vous cède la parole.
Thank you, Veronique. And I would also like to introduce my colleague, Vera Fernandez, joining us from the UK. Vera is in charge of all our young learners teacher training programs at the ELT Hub. It's lovely to see so many people joining. So what we're going to talk about TYLEC. It's called TYLEC, which actually means Trinity Young Learners Extension Certificate. So it's a bit of a long name. I don't know if everybody has heard or understands what Trinity is. So let's have a look. Have a look at that. I'm not going to read it. Obviously, it's in French. You've probably heard of Cambridge. Trinity is, if you like, a sister organization to Cambridge. Trinity is based in London, and they have been operational since 1872, so a long time, with a lot of candidates who take their qualifications worldwide. Okay, they have various teacher training qualifications, which go from what we call in the UK level 5, which is where you would place a licence in France, to level 7, where you would place a master. Okay. Now, TYLEC, as we see, is not positioned academically. And the reason for that is that everyone taking the TYLEC qualification is outside the UK. It is an international qualification for people like yourselves teaching in Spain, in Morocco, in the USA, in Argentina. And so it does not come under the UK academic qualifications. So when we talk about TYLEC, so sorry, there's a little more information, but I want to keep going because I want to talk about TYLEC specifically. It's a wonderful qualification. It's probably the only qualification like it in the whole world, which helps teachers who are already teaching in preschool, what in France we would call maternelle, or primary or secondary, improve their pedagogy, often get more confident in what they're doing in the classroom, and certainly learn some new methodology. It's 100 hours in total, but we're going to offer this for Mission Laïque Française as a part-time distance course because you are all in so many different countries. And I think that's also really important to look at how we're going to do this. So what are the objectives? What do we do as language teachers? Fundamentally, of course, what we're doing is we're helping the children to improve the way they speak. We're helping them to learn vocabulary, and we're helping them to make proper sentences. This is the backbone. This is, if you like, the first objective that we can see here on the screen. But what's terribly important, I think, in the Trinity approach is also they have a very strong emphasis on materials. How do we use materials in the classroom? Because so many teachers, I think, are picking up a text or picking up a song, which is fine. But then how do we make sure that we are really exploiting this material so that our learners are advancing with this? I don't know if you would like to add anything to that, Vera, in your experience. You have your microphone muted.
Yes, yes, that's right. Yes, materials is really important because it's like it's not only, you know, what course book you choose to use and what material, but exactly what are you going to do language-wise? How are you going to exploit it and help them to improve using the materials you've chosen? And sometimes the teachers don't quite equate choice of material to language exploitation.
Mm, mm. Okay, thank you. Okay, so those are the objectives. I'm obviously there, you know, we're going quite quickly through this, but I'd be very happy to send you the slides through Veronique after the presentation so that you can take your time to read them in French. That might be very helpful. Capacity Lab and Série des Scénarios is also about how to plan your lessons. You know, it's very important to go in feeling confident. I know what I'm going to do in the next hour or 2 hours or 40 minutes or 20 minutes. And I know why I'm doing this, and I know what I'm going to use for it. How will you be evaluated? By Trinity. You will be evaluated directly from London by Trinity. That's how you get the qualification. So you are going to be basically, every time you teach, you will be evaluated. And we're going to look at the practical aspects of that in a minute. And then somebody from London will also get involved in looking at you. We will give you certain assignments, if you like, to do during the course, where you have to work on materials, adapt materials, create materials. And that is what the examiners in Trinity will be very interested in looking at. Okay, now, this is a program that has, as I said, has been put forward especially for MLF. It's very innovative worldwide because we're doing this entirely at a distance. So how are we going to do this? Everybody is in their own teaching community, which is wonderful. And I think this is the real richness of this possibility, is that we will do the teaching practice using your classrooms, your learners. And so this means that either you can, if you want, you can, for example, put a laptop in the corner of the room when it comes to your teaching practice, and us and a very small group of colleagues working with you, we will look at the lessons via Zoom, or if you prefer, you might want to just record them. And, we look at them 24 hours afterwards. There is a lot of documentation that will be provided by Trinity because safeguarding is incredibly important when it comes to children in the UK. None of these videos will be kept. They are used strictly for teacher training reasons. Okay, and so that will be documented for your individual schools. So it's going to be a combination of theory, of seminars, which will be run with Vera and her colleagues, combined with this really important practical experience. Vera and I have been working together for many, many years. And in our experience, theory never on its own, it really gets it. You need to be able to try things out. You need to get feedback. You need to work on new ideas. That didn't quite work right. Why didn't that work right? So let's try it again. Let's try it differently. And it's that intermingling of theories and practice that is really, really important in teacher training. I'm sure you'd agree with me there, Vera. That's
Yes, I'd sort of just want to add that one of the things about the TYLEC course is that there's a lot of reflection.
Yes.
built into it. So not only on your lesson plans, but on the materials you create and the whole process as such. And that as well is put forward for assessment. So one of the things about this TYLEC course is the amount of reflection, which helps with your, self-development, your professional development.
Yes, reflection. You try something out, it didn't work. That doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. What matters is, what do you take away from that experience? Why didn't it work? That's what we're trying, and that is what Trinity is trying to create, is teachers who are able to think about their own practice in the classroom and keep moving forward in a supportive environment, always supported by your colleagues, always supported by your tutors.
Yes, and then talking a little bit more about the teaching practice side. The first one is an unassessed one, so
Mm.
that will help you to get in your stride and try out. Well, it's the first time you're going to be recording yourself and then submitting your recording for feedback. So it's always good to try it out. So the first teaching practice is unassessed. So just to let you know, we go slowly.
Yes, it can be a bit frightening at the beginning, can't it, Vera? So let's just look at something that is really radical. Now, this is the first time anywhere in the world this has been done. And this is specifically aimed at preschool, maternelle. Trinity has given us specific accreditation to do this with MLF. And this has never been done before. And this is very, very important. I just heard from Maya, who's in Madrid, who is teaching maternelle and primary and secondary. Maternelle, as we know, has really particular challenges. So I think it is appropriate. A lot of you are being asked to do more and more maternelle, probably. So you need more and more help, I think, in doing that. So it's the TYLEC approach, but it's been adapted. It's been adapted because we're going to include looking at, periods of child development, how to, things that might get in the way of their learning. Emotional factors are obviously very important at that age. How to manage a maternelle class, that can be really complicated. Obviously, we're talking about an age range where children are only just beginning literacy, alphabetisation. So how do we deal with that as teachers? So it's specific and different. Oh, pardon me. But I think it's going to be very, very exciting to do, and particularly because it brings together your experiences in your different teaching contexts. And that is the beauty of MLF, isn't it, Veronique? I mean, you have this worldwide, base, and that allows, I think, in terms of teacher training, for a very, very interesting exchange to take place. So that was quite brief. So Dr. Ben Beaumont, who put this presentation together for us, who is the head of TESOL in London, a very approachable person. Very happy. You can also email him. You can contact him if you have any particular questions about Trinity you would like to ask him. And as I said, I would be happy to send you all this slideshow afterwards, so that you can read it in French. So I would really like to include you all now, and to open this up so that you can ask questions, and you may have questions as well, Veronique. And if you would rather ask the questions in French, that's not a problem. It would be good maybe if you opened your microphones for this. Feel free to.
Alors, est-ce que vous avez peut-être des questions sur tout ça? Si je résume, c'est une approche qui est très intéressante parce que elle s'appuie sur vos pratiques. Donc, filmer, enregistrer ce que vous faites de façon à suivre une formation qui vous fait évoluer dans vos pratiques, tout un travail sur l'approche didactique, et également les supports didactiques que vous allez, et pédagogiques que vous allez utiliser, avec toujours ce feedback des formateurs, voyez? Alors, est-ce que vous avez des questions à poser? Comme Jane vous l'a dit, hein, le TYLEC maternelle, donc pour les tout petits, est spécifique. On l'a construit exprès pour le réseau MLF Monde.
Joanna, Joanna, you've opened your mic. Hi.
Yes.
Where
Hi.
are you? Where are you, Joanna?
Sorry for the delay.
Don't worry.
I'm in Morocco.
You're in Morocco as well, right? So Rim is also in Morocco.
Okay.
Tell us, Rim and Joanna, what ages do you teach?
Yeah, I teach maternelle. So from petite section, moyenne section to grande section.
Okay. And Rim, what is that the same with you? Are you teaching maternelle?
Yes, I am teaching maternelle, primary school, and middle school.
Right.
That's me. Yes, I
Okay.
teach 4 cycles.
Wow. So you're like Maya, you're doing the whole lot.
Yes, all of
Okay.
that.
Hello, El Hassan. Hi. Tell us
Hello,
about your teaching situation
I'm El Hassan from La'yun in Morocco.
as well.
Well,
Okay.
I teach maternal kindergarten and primary, cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3.
Okay. Okay. So what do you all tell us? How does that appear to you? What are your thoughts, your questions, your worries maybe?
Well, for me, the most challenging, the most challenging part of it is the maternelle because sometimes, like what Vera said, um, I don't find enough materials and ideas to implement in my classrooms. And the challenging part of this is any idea or any practice should accompany what the other teachers and friends are doing.
Mm.
That makes sense because we need to work together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a bit challenging. Sometimes I feel like I'm following with them. Sometimes I feel like I'm lost because I need to do something, not the same thing, but I need to speak the same language with them.
Mhm.
Right.
Not repeat the same practices, the same words,
Yeah.
use the same materials. Using materials is good, but I feel like there's something missing when teaching the very little ones in
Yeah.
maternelle.
Yes.
Et
Yes.
vous avez des réunions où vous pouvez discuter de tout ça avec le professeur en français?
Yeah, we often talk all the time, and we work together as a team. That solves lots of problems, true. But from my own part, I feel like that I need a training that can help me.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
okay.
work that is done at school is great because we work together, perfect. But I feel like that I need something that can help me.
Do you know what? Do you know what? When we put this program together, El Hassan, I read the whole curriculum from Éducation nationale for maternelle. I mean, it is impenetrable. I came away from that thinking I wouldn't have an idea what to do in the classroom, having read that. So I totally understand that you feel you need help. And I don't know, Vera, what you feel about this, but I just think, this training in how to use materials, how to choose materials, how to exploit materials means that you become autonomous in the classroom. And that's very important because it has to respond to the children. And you have to go in and have ideas. Vera, what do you feel about that?
Well,
The
yes.
second thing, excuse
Yeah.
me, go ahead.
No, please do.
The second thing is that what happens when I look for materials, and this happens to many teachers, we tend to look for what other teachers do on YouTube, on
Yeah.
TikTok, on Instagram, and I think that's not really so
No.
professional. We get ideas,
Yeah. No.
that's good, but it's not so professional.
No,
See?
it's not deep enough. It's not deep enough. You
Yeah.
have to link your choice of materials to the child's developmental age, to what they're able to do. It has to be a little more thoughtful than picking up the latest idea on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we do is look at the principles of material selection and how to adapt it and what to reject and how to create new materials. So there's a lot of work we do on that, but linked to good teaching principles.
Excellent.
qui est intéressant, c'est qu'il s'adapte vraiment à vos publics et à vos situations de classe, étant donné que tout part des enregistrements que vous faites de façon à élaborer d'autres pistes didactiques et pédagogiques. Voyez.
So we have Morocco, we have Spain. Are there participants from any other countries here today? No, it's all Morocco and Spain. That's wonderful.
Il y a Maroc et Espagne, oui, c'est ça.
That's wonderful. I can see Morocco Spanish group coming together. And what's great is you're in the same time zone.
Mm.
Am I right that Morocco and Spain are the same time zone?
Je crois que ça dépend du moment dans l'année.
Ah.
N'est-ce pas, Maya? C'est ça? Il y a des petits décalages. Ouais.
I think there's an hour or yes, I think there's sometimes 1 hour behind, or I think you're ahead, aren't you? I don't know. It's 5:30 now here.
Yes, same in France. And what's the time now in Morocco?
4:30 almost.
Okay, so you're
behind.
Just because of Ramadan. After Ramadan, it will be the same.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You're on Ramadan, but it's nearly over now.
1 hour, that's fine. That means that we can easily create a schedule that suits everybody. We're basically looking to run this for half a day a week. So it would be that's at the moment how we have it programmed, so that we can do a little bit of input and theory with you, plus do some lesson observation. So I think what's very important also is if each of you could think about what time, what day of the week. We can be completely flexible. We work 7 days a week. We don't have any problems with when we work. So I think it would be very helpful, Veronique, if everybody could also think about when would work for them, okay? And that way we can get the group going.
Could I ask, did you say earlier it was 150 hours?
Yeah, it's a program. Let me look at the schedule. We've done a schedule, haven't we, Vera? It's a program that runs, I think, we reckon over 3 months.
3 months, okay.
Yeah.
And that would be half a day once a week.
Yes, you have to think, I think sort of 3 hours minimum, basically, 3 to 4 hours.
3 hours is a good, nice chunk to really sink your teeth into.
Donc,
otherwise, it's too sporadic and, momentum.
Ce serait sur 3 mois, donc 3 mois intensifs, en fait, c'est ça?
Well, yeah, I mean, every week. It's good to get a rhythm. It's good to get
Il faut que je le précise dans la description. Donc, quelque chose d'assez ramassé, qui prévoit quand même pas mal de choses en synchrone, mais sur un jour de la semaine qui vous arrangerait tous. Étant donné que vous constitueriez le groupe Mission laïque française pour ce TYLEC, et donc on s'adapterait à vos disponibilités.
Absolument. You have to teach 2 different levels. So maybe those of you who are really focused on maternelle, you might be doing maternelle and primary. But you could also, it's not impossible that you choose to do maternelle and lycée. You choose the 2 levels that you want to focus on, okay? And once we have that information, Vera can create a timetable that respects that. It's very exciting. It's very, very exciting this, that we're going to have maternelle and primary and lycée. And collège is just too much.
Johanna, vous vouliez intervenir?
Yeah, I had a question, if that's okay. Sorry, sirens going off.
Don't worry.
What's the difference between doing this and the Trinity TESOL certificate, apart from its more...
TESOL is for adults, teaching adults.
Yeah, okay, that's it. So now it's for maternelle and primary.
This is the only qualification for teaching children. The TESOL is for teaching adults, yes.
Okay, fine. And it's recognized worldwide.
Absolutely. There was a slide which, when I send them to you, Joanna, I mean, Trinity has, I think it's 40 centers worldwide. Has a very, very strong presence in Asia, also in Latin America. I mean, it really is everywhere. TYLEC is has an incredible reputation simply because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
Not with this dedication to the practice element.
Yes, it's a globally recognized certificate. You've got both Cambridge and Trinity, and they're both
Cambridge doesn't
recognize.
young learners.
Although Cambridge don't run young learner.
Voilà, c'est ça.
Okay, great. It's nice to have something that's dedicated to maternelle.
Absolutely. This is the very first time. This is the very first
Voilà,
time.
c'est ça.
Very exciting. And Vera's been developing the program with a colleague who works, funny enough, in Oman. Very, very experienced with the British Council, lots of experience with primary and maternelle. So we're bringing together a team that has some really good, interesting experience.
Okay.
Alors, juste pour une question pratique, hein, en fait, pour le TYLEC, si vous souhaitez candidater et que votre chef d'établissement soutient cette démarche, donc il y a le formulaire à nous envoyer et ensuite un entretien uniquement avec Jane et Vera peut-être, et Vera aussi. Voilà, pour évaluer votre niveau d'anglais, pour savoir s'il est suffisant, mais surtout aussi pour évaluer votre motivation et votre appétence, en fait, pour réfléchir à vos pratiques et les faire évoluer. Voilà.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be a test. It's really a nice opportunity just to chat through how the course works, a bit more about yourselves. Please don't feel like Vera's going to start asking lots of difficult questions. You wouldn't do that, would you, Vera?
Yeah.
Donc le dossier, bon, nous on demande aussi une lettre de motivation hein, qui peut être en français sans problème.
Bien sûr.
Mais il y a derrière donc cet entretien avec Jane et Vera. Voilà.
Merci Vera.
Est-ce que vous avez d'autres questions ou tout est clair? Non? Il y a aussi un autre enjeu, et ça c'est à voir, hein, parce que justement, ça a été évoqué tout à l'heure. C'est vrai que s'il y a plusieurs enseignants dans votre établissement qui suivent le TYLEC, ça peut être encore plus intéressant. Parce que voilà, il y a des échanges aussi entre vous dans votre établissement et des pratiques qui évoluent de façon plus harmonieuse aussi. Et ça peut être un grand soutien aussi pour suivre la formation que d'avoir un acolyte qui suit le TYLEC également.
Ah oui, n'hésitez pas à passer le message autour de vous. Hein.
Voilà, c'est ça.
Non, mais c'est vrai, ça serait très sympa. Okay,
voilà.
I think we're pretty good, eh?
Yes.
I think we're very punctual. 31 minutes, that's great.
Donc, nous sommes à disposition si vous avez des questions qui vous viennent après. On peut faire le lien avec Jane et Vera. L'adresse mail, c'est développement.professionnel@mlfmonde.org. Et n'hésitez pas si vous avez des questions complémentaires. Et merci beaucoup à Jane, merci beaucoup à Vera et merci à vous de vous être rendu disponible pour cette présentation.